Hi, welcome. In this video, I'd like to discuss the issue of using motivating agents in a indirect way to build a picture of change. And this is where, again, you'll hear these concepts of talking about having your dog do certain things, respond certain ways to get whatever they want. Now, here's the thing to understand about, again, talking about dogs as social animals in terms of relationship, and in terms of motivating a dog to respond, and then assuming that through a series of responses that is representative that the relationship is moving in the right direction. And this even goes into this whole issue about when you hear about those who are kind of indecisive about whether or not to use treats or not use treats, to use a toy instead or use something indirectly such as a dog's daily food supply to get a dog to respond. But here's the thing to really consider is that regardless of how you kind of switch it up, okay, by saying, well, I don't want to use treats in a overt direct way, that way, like using them like a Pix candy machine, because perhaps people have a sense that maybe that could be problematic at that level. But what I would encourage people to think about is at a relationship level, okay, considering in terms of how you're engaging the relationship, how you're, again, the word to key up on, how you're interacting with a dog, is considering in terms of where you're truly standing at a relationship level, what the context of using a motivator, what does that represent? And again, I always take this example to my parenting example to help people establish or have a sense of, or an example to go by, help them understand why it is problematic when you're beginning to, say, generate a series of responses that way, why that can be problematic for so many. And so the thing to consider is that when you already have, and here's the key, an already selfish child, just like when you have a dog that's already gained a level of control in the relationship, when you begin to look at building a picture that way, when you begin to, in a very superficial way, look to elicit a response from a response, is that you cannot trust in appearances that way. You cannot go and just look at the responses that way and assume that things are moving in a certain direction. And understand that the entire dog training world is built that way. Okay, it's focused that way on getting dogs to respond, and then assuming things are moving a certain direction without even a thought that, okay, let's reconcile what behavior issues even represent. Behavior issues represent the dog's already gained a level of control. So again, it changes the context of responses, of how you're building the picture. So again, my whole thing is really try to encourage people to think about this type of a very popular approach to training. Okay, dog training is to just simply generate a series of responses using motivating agents, whether overtly, directly, or indirectly. Understand that can still be extremely problematic if you're not considering the relationship side of things. Understand, or reconciling behavior itself by way of relationship and dog that's gained control. Because again, understand that that's the key thing to understand, is that it's all about relationships. It's all about how the dog perceives you at that level. And so it changes everything. It changes the context of what you're doing by way of using motivators that way. So again, I just put it out there that I encourage people to really think about that. If you're looking for information, check out my website. I have lots of great information. I have lots of video content to help people as well. But again, there's a reason why I approach training the way I approach it, by way at an interaction-based level. Okay, it's about depth. Okay, it's about moving beyond just the appearance of things. And again, what I tell people is appearances can get us into a lot of trouble right away if we decide that we're going to ignore the obvious and simply engage at that level without considering dogs in terms of beyond just going through the motions or getting them to respond, considering the relationship side of things. Thanks for watching.